Learning is a state of mind. When we're open to learning, it's kind of the way we feel emotionally, physically, and I want to make these videos as fun as possible for you so you can really learn the lessons when it comes to trading. And today, we're going to talk about the dangers of trading in isolation. We're going to review some of the reasons why. A lot of traders get into trading because they want to be their own boss, they want to have a flexible schedule, they don't want to deal with customers and customer service, and everything that goes with a traditional business. But trading will bring on different obstacles that we have to prepare ourselves for. And as a beginner trader, you're going to make mistakes. And in trading, making mistakes will cost money. So the number one reason that you should not trade alone, it's going to be risk management, which is learning to control your losses to a small amount. And my channel is dedicated to helping you do that. Now, when you're trading on your own and you have a small loss as a beginner trader, a lot of times that small loss can turn into a devastating loss. And this is where traders get into trouble because they don't want to be wrong and they don't want to lose money. So when it's time to make that tough decision, they don't. They freeze. They think twice about it. What if I close out this trade and it turns into a profit? Well, we have to face the reality that every single time you place a trade, you could be wrong and you could lose money, but we're going to learn to do that in a safe way. Before you enter any trade, calculate how much money am I willing to lose on this trade. Is it $200, $300, is it $100? It doesn't matter the amount because everyone's account is different. But what you want to do is learn to trade safely and to make sure that the lessons that you're learning cost you the least amount of money possible. It also helps you with your mind, your emotions, and your finances. So we have to make sure that we're learning a new craft, and that craft is trading. And that is to be able to identify an opportunity and you say, hey, you know what? This is a good time to put on risk. This is a good time to take off risk. And during that learning curve, we're going to make mistakes. We have to trade different market environments, different stocks. We may end up with too many positions. And the most important one is sometimes you can get so aggravated that you place an aggressive, reckless trade. And this is where traders really get hurt. Now, when you're doing this in isolation, we're going to talk about next is dealing with the emotions of trading, because you don't want to be wrong, because you don't want to get embarrassed or tell someone, hey, I lost money, I was wrong on this trade, and we don't understand how to deal with that at the very beginning. Then we may kind of hold in our feelings, deal with it in our own way. If we have losses, we can be, let's say, depressed, start lashing out at other people, our family and friends. And all these things are a negative way to deal with losses or so-called mistakes. Now, you can enter the perfect trade and it can still be a losing trade. And we have to really understand that this happens to all traders. Every single trading strategy is going to produce a losing trade, a losing streak, even a trading slump. Now, with that said, I know there are a lot of traders out there that have maybe a 70% win rate, 80% win rate. But to get to those levels, it was not overnight. It took them many years to achieve that type of win rate. But I can also emphasize there are some strategies out there that also only win 20 to 30% of the time and are still profitable. As you learn about yourself, about your strategy, how you interact, how you execute, and how you deal with everything that the stock trading is going to give you emotionally, mentally, and financially, that's where risk management is so important, because you're going to make mistakes. And it happens to all traders. Now, I want you to take a look at a video that I made. It's called The 4 Frustrating Things That Are Normal in Stock Trading, so you don't feel it's so isolated. And it's also good to kind of voice or journal or even email me, alexander@traderhelp101.com. I get a lot of emails where people are just venting about their losses or some of the struggles they're going through, and it's good to let it out, because you don't want that to be bottled in. And when you know it's normal, when you know this is something that all traders go through, but the trader A that's bottling it in it's gonna be too much for them to handle, because they're gonna have a low self-esteem, they're gonna be beating themselves up, they're gonna have negative self-voices, and you don't wanna do that. You wanna say, you know what? This is just one losing trade of many that I will have, that I'm gonna have safely, because I plan for the loss before I enter every trade. But this is just one trade of the many trades I'm gonna place throughout the year. Let me make sure that this losing trade does not hurt my account, and make sure that I am safe, I move on, and I look for the next trading opportunity. So dealing with the stress, dealing with the anxiety, dealing with everything that you're trying to do when you're trying to hit a moving target, you can't put too much pressure on having a profitable week, month, or year when you're first starting, because you're learning to go through the process, and you can learn to do that for free in a sim account. So make sure that if you don't want to risk any of your money, or you went through a devastating loss, it's okay to pull back. It's like an injured player. Hey, you know what? Take a seat, recover, make sure you're getting your strength back, make sure we get you a couple of minutes on you to re-aggravate, and that's perfectly fine. I don't want you to feel that because you stop trading that you're being punished. This is actually the correct thing to do. If you're trading a lot, you scale down your position, you scale down the frequency, because you want to not only reset emotionally, mentally, and financially, but you also want to make sure, hey, maybe I didn't read the market right. Maybe something happened that I need to kind of wait on the sidelines and see what the market wants to do until I get a better understanding what the market wants to do, and then continue to trade. And that's perfectly fine. So we have number one is risk management. Make sure that you are controlling your losses to a small amount. You're not placing irresponsible, reckless trades, because of number two, of being emotionally irrational. And when you deal with mistakes, you deal with it in a positive way. That's going to lead us to number three, which is your learning curve. When you trade in isolation, when you are trading alone and you put kind of ego and pride into it, your learning curve is going to be very, very long. So you want to get yourself into a community, you want to ask questions, you want to be proactive, go to YouTube, kind of get yourself informed, really learn, read some books, and just learn a lot. Get yourself maybe a mentor, but really ask a lot of questions. You don't want to do this on your own, because it's a tough game. We are in a game where it's a moving target. You have to put on risk. And if you talk to other fellow traders, it's better, because they are dealing with the same things. And some traders can help you kind of elevate, say, you know what? This is what you need to do. This is stop doing this, and get you on the right track. But you must control the losses so your learning curve is not expensive. So make sure that you don't put yourself in a situation where you're going to do this on your own to prove something to everybody, to your family and friends, that you could do it on your own, because it's going to be, number one, very expensive, because you're going to make a lot of mistakes like we spoke about, and number two, it's going to take too long. And you want to be able to get to certain points and certain fundamental levels very, very quickly, so you can focus on learning your strategy, so you can focus on trading and implementing your strategy in the real world. All right. If you found this video very helpful, thank you so much. Subscribe, leave a comment below, and as always, I'll see you next time, and always trade safe.